Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage, and today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. Still looking for that potential of a bigger push to the upside here. Whether this is either just going to be another five-wave move to the upside, looking for that idea of a flat correction, or a bigger potential move up towards this 3170, 780. Basically looking for this third wave, potential fourth and a fifth. So we're going to discuss a couple of options within this move. We need to just be cautious. However, there is still potential for us to break down for as long as we stay below this 28,775 region. So we're going to discuss that as well. Okay, so what we're looking for here is that potential for being with starting this third wave here. So this is possible still. The problem is the structure is starting to become less and less likely the more that we actually just hover around in this area and we don't actually start to get moving to the upside. So the alternatives that we're looking for here potentially are still the same things that we talked about in previous videos. We need to be careful of that fact that we could have a bigger flat correction here where we're forming this as an A wave, this is all as a B wave, and then looking for that potential of the C wave. We did discuss as well the potential that we could have had a truncation within this C wave over here because we came up to that 0.618. So we need to just be cautious that we don't start to get five wave structure to the downside. If we do, however, push up towards this zone of this 30K region, potentially we could be looking for a bigger rejection here and the possibility of forming a five-wave move to the downside. So this is what we're just keeping an eye on the macro here. The alternative thing that we were looking for here was the potential that we had a bigger W, X, and a Y here. And that was looking at this move as a W into here, X wave as a flat, and then the possibility that our Y wave was not completed. So the one-to-one is down here towards this 26,198 and that 0.618 is here at this 27,514. So this is quite an interesting area. Obviously, it'd be coming back into some of these lows here. So if we do see a move down here, I'll be looking to see if we actually find support here and what happens next. There are other ways of counting this, so we need to just be aware that, this could be in a few things here. Looking at this move to the downside here, we could argue that we've had a WXY into here. This could be a connector wave as a ABC to the upside, and we could be starting a bigger three-wave move to the downside here. Alternatively, we can argue that we could count this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, in which case we could look at this either as a triangle or just a three-wave move to the upside that hasn't completed yet, where this would be A, B, and C, and then we actually look to break down from there. So we're going to go over these potential options. Basically, the target zone for this would be towards this 26,918. And what we'd want to see here is basically a three-wave move playing out. So, I mean, we can argue that we could have even completed into here as W, X, and Y, because it's so choppy here, this could be a triangle, it could be a lot of things. So we need to just be a little bit cautious here. Basically, if we have completed into here, what I'm looking for is the potential to actually get a rejection and then move down towards some of these lower areas. Like I said, it's possible that we could actually look to come back up towards this 28,241 to this 28,545, where this move becomes A, B, and then C, something like this, and then we look to move down from that point. So we need to just be aware of this, even if we do start to break to the upside. Be careful around this 28.54 to this 28.241 region. So this is something that we just need to keep an eye on. Watch these zones. For as long as we stay underneath this channel area, we potentially could see a move back up into the top of this channel and face further rejection. Or alternatively, we could look to move down towards the bottom end of this channel. Okay, so we're going to go over that bullish aspect first and what needs to happen if we are looking for basically a breakout from here. So we were talking about that potential that we were looking for this as a wave two, and we were talking about this basically looking for an A, B, and a C to the downside. It is possible we could argue, that we've completed into here, and as long as we hold this low point of this 27,712, we could look to move away. I don't like the structure currently, so what I would be looking out for here is if we have an ABC like this that hasn't finished completing yet, but this all becomes A, we get B, and then we look for that C wave to the downside. So that would be looking at this move here potentially as a triangle, because we'd have to argue that within here, what we're looking for is something like this. and we'd be looking for the fact that basically this would be A, B, C, D, and E, and then we'd be looking to actually form a move to the downside here as a five-wave structure potentially. So this would then potentially become that wave one. We'd look for two, three, four, five, and that would look something like this. If I just throw on the this could look something like this. So if we just pay attention to the yellow count here, basically what we could see is this play out as a 1, 2, bigger third wave down towards this zone here. Let me just change the color of this so that it's easier to see. This 27,529 area. So if we do start to break down and we start to break down to this area, so this is actually based off of coming up higher here. So our current target, if we would have to move down to 27,483. But basically what I'm looking for here, if we just focus in on this bit here, is we do seem to have a five-wave structure here. So this could be A, B, and C, and then that's completed, and we look to break to the upside and take these highs. But for as long as we remain below this zone here of this 28,083, we need to be cautious of any kind of three-wave moves to the upside. If we get a three-wave move up here, basically ABC up into this zone of this 28,022 to this 27,941, we could actually start to look for a deeper rejection here where this becomes 1, 2, we get a bigger third wave, fourth wave, and then a fifth wave, which could actually look to push us down towards this 27,485 to this 27,418 area. So if we do break down like this, what I would then be looking for is to see how we react from this lower range here. If we just get a three-wave move to the upside, we'd have to be cautious that potentially we can also count this as a five-wave move, where this would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and then an extension within the fifth wave. We can also potentially just look at this as A, B, and C, but the internals allow for us to count this as a five-wave move. We don't have overlap between that wave one and this wave four. So if we count it like that, so it is a viable count, and we just have a three-wave move to the upside afterwards. So with this said and done, basically what this could mean is that we have an additional fourth and a fifth, which could then look to push us down deeper towards this 27,400 area to this 27,308. And then basically, this could actually, take apart this idea that we have a one and a two, because once we start to lose this lower support zone, I'm just going to turn this off for a second. That's the wrong one. Turn this one off for a second. Once we start to lose this lower range here of this 20,000, 27,500, let me just move this over. This 27,529, basically by the time we start to lose this, it becomes less probable that we're going to see this continuation up here. So you need to just be careful of this. This is basically, we looked at this as a previous count, looking for that potential that we could actually see a bigger five-wave move to the downside, and this is still also valid. So really, until we actually break back above 28,755, I'm going to be cautious about moves to the upside that just play out in three-wave structure. The alternative way of looking at this structure, we could argue one, this is an A, looking for a B wave. So even if we do move up one more time here in a five-wave move, what we could see is something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Coming up, taking out this high, and basically coming back into this 28,543 to this 28,237, and then we could look to actually break down from there. So then this could become a bigger 1, 2, and that would be looking for these lower target ranges of this 26,569. So this is still valid. We could argue that within this move, potentially we had this just as an A. This is an X wave. Sorry, this is a WX and then a Y into here, and then we've got 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is why I'm looking out for that possibility of a bigger drop here. So if we do drop down here much deeper towards this zone of this 26,569, what I would then be looking for is that potential to see a fourth wave to the upside and then continuation down. And then what if we did form something like this, that would tie in quite nicely to that idea of having a bigger flat correction where, like I said, potentially we could see this C wave complete into here instead. It's not my favorite interpretation of it, but it is still a possibility. So this is why we're looking out for this possibility of a five-wave move down here. But really, as long as we maintain these lows of this 27,179 area, we can look for that continuation up. So we're going to have to just give it a bit of time, see how it plays out. But we could start to see some volatility coming into the market. We have been coiling up here for quite a long time. This could look to flush some positions out by either faking out to the downside or upside, and then looking for that continuation. So we just need to be a little bit patient with this and see exactly what the moves are telling us. Like I said, if we are looking for that bullish count here, what we need to see is basically this 27,529 area hold. The problem is with this, there's so many different ways of counting this move. But as long as we hold this area, I will be looking for that possibility that we could start to see, a move to the upside here. And the 30,651 to this 30,288 would be a typical area that we would be looking for if we were to progress to the upside and basically take some of these zones. But this would sort of depend on where this structure completes, because if this is correct and this is a wave two to the side here, basically what we'd want to see is a 1.618 move to the upside of wherever this comes in. So if we did come down lower here, potentially that could be 29,875. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. If we do just break to the upside here, then potentially we could be looking for a move. The only way that it would make sense, though, if we're looking at something like that, would be that somehow within here we have a diagonal where this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we didn't actually cross this trend line of the wave 3 to 5, and then basically, we're looking for this move as a retracement here, but it does look like a five-wave move, so I'm just being cautious. It wouldn't surprise me to see a move down into these ranges again, sweeping some of these lows here, and then look for some kind of a move up. So we need to just be aware of this. 1 to 1 would bring us down to this 27,144. So keep an eye on this. Even if we did come down into this area, we could still look at this potentially as a bigger A, B, and a C, where we look to actually push up towards those flat range targets, and then look for that potential to actually break down from there. So this area is pretty much going to be remaining the same unless we take this low point here. uh, this 29,946 is that key area here. So really what we need to see for a bullish confirmation is a much bigger move here. And this is why we need to just be a little bit careful. We need to see bigger structure developing, looking to actually build to push up towards this 35K range. And, then we can start to argue that we could possibly have an additional 1, 2 here, and we're starting to push to the upside. But once we start to take out some of these lows, like this 26,505 and this low here of this 27,203, we need to start looking out for that possibility that this is something else within the structure here, and we could actually just be looking at a bigger corrective move. And basically, the key zones are still going to remain the same. This 26,638 to this 24,816. That's looking for the potential of 1, 2, but this is getting quite large now. So if it doesn't, if it fails to maintain this 26,497, basically I would be treating this potentially as either a completed move into this high here, and this is just a big correction, or alternatively, we could have completed into here, and that is basically starting to drop down for this bigger corrective structure here towards this 24,647 to this 21,182. So this is what we need to be careful. We need to get back above some of these key levels. We need to start pushing if this is developing into an additional impulsive structure here, where we're building 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This really needs to start going now. We need to start seeing impulsive breaks to the upside, and it's taking out some of these higher targets that we're looking for. So this 30,000 with this current structure we have here. And if we're looking at the bigger the bigger 5 wave potential here, we'd be looking for this 31,780. So really this needs to build. Otherwise it becomes less likely and it could possibly even look to start breaking down. So just need to be careful. Yeah, so I mean, it is very choppy. There's many different ways of reading this. We're gonna have to just be a little bit patient with this. But yeah, so we just need to get back above some of these key levels and break, breaking up above 28,775 would invalidate the potential of having a bigger sell-off here. But until we do, we need to just be aware that this is still a possibility, and we could still look to face some rejection off of this red box area. We have come up to that 382, which would be very shallow as a wave 2, but it would be a WXY if this is the case. So this would be viable, where this could become 1, 2, and then we're starting to break down in a much bigger way for this this lower target range here, and we could be looking to play out something like this, looking to try and get down either towards that 1-to-1 area, which would then just make this ABC, or alternatively breaking down deeper towards this zone here, of this 26,421 for confirmation of a bigger impulse here, where we get this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like I've said previously, if we do start to break down something like this, we need to be cautious, because it is possible that we could, technically start to count this then as a 1, 2 as a flat correction within here, and then this would be 3, 4, and 5, and then we'd have a bigger 5 wave move to the downside. So this is what we need to just be careful of, really, until we break back above 28,775 and this high point here of the what is this? If I can get onto it. Bear with me 1 second. 29,184 region. So, we need to just be careful, because these things can extend out like this, and then we start to see these moves breaking down. And if we did see a move like this to the downside, basically what we'd be looking for would be the possibility of coming back down into these key support areas. Like I said, primary one here is this 26,581 to this 24,794, but we do have a support zone lower down here with a few gaps, so wouldn't surprise me to see us sweep some of these levels. But really, for as long as we stay above 25,250, we need to be aware that we could see something like this, where this is AB. We can have a 5 wave move down into this 25,250-ish area, and then we find support here and we look to break away. So these are the things that I'm looking at. I hope you found these useful. If you did, please let me know down in the comments section below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. There is also a lot going on in there, so yeah, why not come check it out? As well as that, we have affiliate links for both Primary CBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges we use on a regular basis. Check them out if you don't have an account. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.